He says, my Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I'm going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, then I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. He says, I am going to ascend that mountain that you could not ascend yourselves. I am going to the Father's house, and I will make a place for you there. He describes it as a place with many rooms. I think a lot of you remember a translation that says many mansions, and maybe that sounds like a downgrade, but these aren't dorm rooms we're talking about. These are luxury suites with a view and a mini bar that isn't going to charge you when you just move one of the items. This is going to be an awesome place, not just because of the amenities and the accommodations. It's going to be awesome because who you are there with, that you are there with God himself. That this is where God dwells. You are in the Father's house with God and with Jesus. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. And the fact that Jesus is there preparing a place for each of his disciples makes it all the more special. And now this is where Jesus gets into that discussion about how you get there. He says, you know the way to the place where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we don't know where you're going, so how can we know the way? You remember doubting Thomas from the first week of this worship series? Here he is again. He's always got a question. Lord, we don't know where you're going. How do we know how to get there? And Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. That's it. Jesus says, I am the way and the truth and the life. Notice he doesn't say, I am a way, as if there are many paths to God and you kind of figure out the one that works best for you. He says, I am the way. And he doesn't say, I'm going to make a way or blaze a trail for you, that if you were only as righteous and obedient as I was, then you too could earn your spot in heaven. No, he says, I am the way. That by trusting in me, that is how you get to the Father's house. In fact, he says that no one gets to the Father except through me. Notice he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's kind of a triplet there. But because of Thomas's question, it's clear the emphasis is on the way. Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's another bold claim that Jesus is making. The claim of exclusivity. Jesus says, no one comes to the Father except through me. And exclusivity isn't exactly the point. It's not as though he wants to leave people out. He says, my Father's house has many rooms in it. There's room for everybody. And Christ's atoning sacrifice was made for the sins of the whole world. He wants everyone to be saved. And yet he says, the only way to benefit from that is through me. That I am the only way to the Father, and apart from him, there is no salvation.